the same Fernando Carmona III, who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2022 CR 9805 for the offense of aggravated robbery on February 3rd, 2023 for a period of 10 years. Is that you?
Yes, Your Honor.
Violation of condition number 14 true. Is there an agreement?
Yes, Your Honor. It's to amend conditions of probation to include zero tolerance and fair ISF followed by ISP. The state is also going to take into consideration county court cause number 703-603. And the defendant is to have no harmful or injurious contact with Felicity Garcia.
All right. Who is Felicity Garcia?
She was the listed victim in the county court case.
All right. Defense.
Your Honor, that is the agreement. Mr. Carmona is very motivated to successfully complete his probation with you, Judge. I think ISF, as we just heard from the prior hearing, it could be very beneficial regarding his compliance with the court's wishes. And he's very motivated to get back to his daughter and try to change his life.
Why shouldn't I send you to prison? Because it's obviously I placed you on probation. I'm not, I see the other allegations, which it appears you were placed on probation in February. And since February, the only thing you did was pick up a new offense. So why shouldn't I send you to prison?
That unlawful restraining was just a big misunderstanding. I did not really do anything but lock the door. That's all that happened. I just didn't want I didn't want to talk to the cops or nothing, and my girlfriend had climbed into the window and unlocked the door for the cops, and all I did was try locking it so that I don't get. I knew that was my first day on probation. I didn't want to.
Here's the thing: that unlawful restraint case is not accusing you of unlawfully restraining yourself. Am I right about that?
Yes, Judge.
So let's stop with this. I didn't want to talk to the police, and you're trying to make it sound like you locked yourself in because you didn't want to talk to anybody. The complainant listed in the unlawful restraint is not yourself. So again, why shouldn't I just send you to prison? Because I know for a fact, because you're young, I know I told you that everything that you do, you need to ask yourself a simple question. Is this something that could potentially result in me going to prison for life? And I know I told you because you're young, I know I told you that if it's something where you're like, I don't know, maybe, then you shouldn't do it. If the answer to that question is definitely yes, then you shouldn't do it. So instead of you following my conditions that I set for you in February, you're back here in April and you never did anything. You did nothing. And now you come to me. And I'm assuming everybody's asking for mercy. You're asking for mercy for the court. Why should I give it to you?
Well, Your Honor, I've really not been. I have such a big heart, and I just want to prove to my family that I'm not a bad person. And I also want to prove to you.
So let me stop you right there. Let's assume that you don't have a family. Let's assume you are in this world all by yourself. Why should I be showing you mercy when you didn't follow any of my conditions? Because what you're telling me is, don't send me to prison because I want to prove something to my family. That ship has sailed. Don't come to me saying, I want to be out because I have a child. That ship has sailed. If you're here by yourself, which you are, why should I not just send you to prison and move on to the next case? I can send you to prison for 5 or up to life and say, good luck to you, and go on to the next person.
Well, I also wanted to prove to you that I'm not such a bad person and I could complete the 10 years deferred.
No, you've proven to me that you can't. Good people always say good people sometimes do bad things. So you've proven to me that you can't do probation because you have not done it. The only thing you've done since you've been on probation is pick up this new case. So my question is, why shouldn't I just send you to prison and move on to the next person?
I also wanted to be a role model for all of my other brothers that are lost.
Well, let's assume you don't have any brothers or sisters. Because you should have been a role model before you picked up this case.
Yes, Your Honor.
And I will tell you, if I go along with this agreement, I'm doing no contact with Felicity Garcia. And if somebody wants that no contact lifted, then I need to speak to Felicity Garcia and find out what's going on here.
Yes, ma'am.
And how old is your child?
She's 1, gonna be 2 in June.
So you got a 1-year-old about to be 2, and she didn't ask for it, but now she has a father who has an aggravated case and who is looking at going to prison for life. And then I guess she can be in front of me saying, well, you know, I never had a father. He went to prison. There's this vicious cycle that's going on here in Bexar County where everybody comes before me. And you know what they say? Oh, I only went to 9th grade. Oh, my father's in prison. Oh, my mom's in prison. My grandmother raised me. At some point, that's going to have to stop. All right, I'm going to deny the motion. There's going to be no contact with Felicity Garcia. I'm going to want parenting classes. I probably already ordered that if he told me he had a child before. Yes, I did. Where are you going to be living? Because you're not going to be living with Felicity Garcia.
I'm gonna stay on my dad.
Does he want you there? Have you asked?
Yes, I have.
Does he have criminal history?
I don't think so. I'm not really sure.
All right, so
But if not, I was planning to live at Heaven for Hope. I was before, but I had to pick up.
do you have any drug issues in your past? All right, we'll do ISF, cognitive. And I want field visits when he's released. And those are to be once a month, and make those random. And is there anything else that he needs probation?
Are we saying the local Bear IFS or state IFS?
Whichever one, just whichever one that has the cognitive one.
Both of them.
But we'll do local.
Okay.
What's your daughter's name? And there's to be no visitation, because I don't know why people bring their children to facilities like the Bexar County Jail and prison. So you are not to have your daughter visiting you at those facilities. Her immune system is not even built up. And the last thing she needs to do is see her father in custody, because then people think that's the way to go. You understand?
Your Honor, may I confirm the disposition of the medium time?
The state is taking that in consideration. All right, is there anything else you need from me to be successful? Is there anything you need from the court?
No, Your Honor.
Anything else? I'm going to tell you this for the last time. Every decision that you make from here on out, you need to ask yourself before you follow through with that decision, is this something that could result in me potentially going to prison for life? This is an aggravated case. So if you get sentenced to 20 years, you have to do 10 years flat. That's day for day before you're eligible for parole. And even then, there's no assurance that you will get it. And if you end up getting sentenced on this case, more likely than not, your child will have gone through her quinceañera and everything else before you're released. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we can go off the record. And what is up with this Marbach haircut business? What's up with that? Is that something that people are just doing? Do you know about that?
I'm not sure I've had it for as long as I can remember.
Okay. All right, and you're going to have to start getting a job, all right?
Yes, Your Honor.
You've got a daughter to support. Good luck to you. Don't disappoint me. Saying Jonathan Bolden, who was placed on community supervision in 2022 CR 11444 for the offense of failure to comply with sex offender duty to register life or annual on April 3rd, 2023 for a term of 5 years. Is that you?
Yes.
State?
Your Honor. Violated condition number 4. In Bexar County, Texas, the defendant, Jonathan Bolden, did then and there fail to report to the supervision officer as directed for the months of March 2024 in violation of condition number 4.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
Your Honor, the state waives all remaining violations.
Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
Did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 4, the court could find it true, grant the motion, sentence you to 2 years in prison? Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 4?
Yes.
Court will find violation of condition number 4 true. Is there a proposed agreement?
There is, Your Honor. We are asking in court to grant the motion and revoke probation. We're asking for a sentence of 6 months in Bear County Jail. This is the second MTR. We understand there's some issues with completing the probation, so we're asking for the 6 months.
That is our understanding.
All right.
Okay.
So his minimum is 2 years. All right, let's go off a record for a moment. Okay, so he missed reporting on March 26th. And then when did he report?
He reported the first, but in between that, Your Honor, he spoke with probation officer on March 28th, that Thursday. They informed him that he needed to be there by 5 p.m. He could not make it. He did make it that following Monday. And I believe a warrant had already been issued.
All right, probation.
Yes, Judge.
So did he call them and let them know that he's homeless?
Judge. There was a telephone call that he felt to report on the 26th. There was a telephone call on the 28th. It doesn't say anything about them being homeless or anything like that. The notes indicate that the officer told him to be at the location in person by 5 o'clock. Due to them not reporting the prior, a couple of days prior.
All right, so Mr. Bolden, here's where we are. And maybe you can tell me something or your counsel can tell me something that will make me think differently. You're here on a failure to register. So that means that you are now on notice that you have to report and you have to register, right? You're supposed to report. Everyone here agrees, your attorney agrees, you agree, probation agrees, states agrees, that you're supposed to report on March 26, 2024, correct? Did you call probation on March 26, 2024? They don't have that.
I called him. I called my probation officer on the 26th. I had to, because to let him know that I didn't make it in. He told me to contact, he said, contact, please.
Let me do this. Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes,
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Jonathan Bolton.
All right, and I'm assuming nobody's objecting to hearsay because I'm trying to get to the bottom of this story.
No objections.
All
Okay.
right, so what happened?
I called him on the 26th and said, I didn't make it in. I'm trying my best to make it in. I'll make it tomorrow. He said, you need to, because they want you to be there to register. I said, okay. So I called them. They said, you better make it in then. I tried my best to get money to Bus to get down and make it. I could make it. So I called, but I called him back on Friday because the place was closed on Friday. So I called my probation officer back Friday and told him that. He said, I better make it. That's all I told him. That's all.
All right, so this is what I'm not understanding. You called them, you're telling me you called them on March 26th?
Yeah.
All right. And you told them you were not going to make it?
I told him I'm trying to make it.
Okay.
And I told my
And you
probation.
didn't make it on the 26th. So then they reschedule you for March 28th to give you a chance to make it, and you still didn't make it.
No, they didn't reschedule me. I told them I called the 27th. I called the 27th because it was closed. I called the 27th and told the sergeant down there that I'm trying to make it. I don't have a way of it. I'm trying to get the money to catch the bus. He said, well, you better make it. That's when I called him back on the 28th and told him what that officer said. And I did all I could do, and then I sat in there early Monday morning to try to fix it.
Well, see, here's the thing. And correct me if I'm wrong. I'm fine if you correct me. I don't take it as a sign of disrespect. You knew you were supposed to report on March 26th. You didn't report. You say you don't have bus fare. You can't get there. You didn't report on the 27th. And then they tell you you need to be there on the 28th by 5.
27th. That's when he told me, he said, you better get down here.
All right, so-
I couldn't do it. I didn't wait.
I don't know what I'm supposed to do with this because he was supposed to report. He didn't report. It's a lifetime registration.
Excuse me, Judge. Out of all the hard times I've had living in that field, moving in and out with medical things, they want me to move my stuff. Even when I'm medical hurt and I'm not able to. I mean, it's a big job. I'm right now coming out of that situation. I can be on, you can put me on no tolerance, period.
See, here's the thing. That's what everybody says when we get to this point for a motion to revoke. I have people who tell me, you can keep me on probation for life. You can do this or that. The problem is you haven't been reporting, and this is not your first motion to revoke.
Because I've been having trouble getting it before. I was on, when I got put on, I had to show there every week. I had no problems with the first 15 years. I had no problem because I had a job and I had got away. I have not had no source of income whatsoever. And I'm finding myself having problems. It's not that I don't want a problem. Register or go register. It's a problem I can't. I have trouble getting there. I'm not trying to display attitude that I don't want to do this stuff. I do want to be accountability for myself, for the things I do. It's just the money situation keep me from doing it. I'm not trying to blow it off. It's a no.
All right, just have a seat. I'll take this matter up in a moment. I need to think about some things. All right, we were here on May 20th. The defendant pled true to violation of condition number 4. The court found violation of condition number 4 true. The state waived other allegations, and I asked that it be recalled for today. And the reason why it's being recalled for today was an issue about his homelessness. Am I correct?
Correct.
All right.
And I believe the bus pass issue.
And the bus pass issue. So I asked that his officer appear so that we can figure out what's going on. Mr. Rangel, could you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, could you lower your hand and state your name for the record?
My name is Orlando Rangel, Rangel.
All right, any objection to the witness appearing by Zoom, state, defense?
No objection. No objection.
All right, Mr. Rangel, so that we can move things along. The issue with Mr. Bolden testified that there was an issue with him receiving a bus pass and that he's homeless, and that's the reason why he's not appearing. Do you have any information on any of that?
I do have some information on it, Your Honor. About it if you'd like to hear. So he
Yes,
was
please.
initially given
Yes.
a bus pass. Sorry. He was initially given a bus pass July 12th of 2023 by a duty officer. He reported without an appointment and I was not there, which is why he met with her. At that time, it was a new program. They were still trying to figure it out. He came back. Mr. Bolden came back July 20th and I met with him. He again inquired about the bus pass stuff. Even though he already gotten one, I told him I did not know enough information about the program and that I was going to find out for him and then get back to him. After that, in August, I met with him and I did tell him I found out what I needed. I gave him information. I gave him a form to fill out to bring back to me so that I could submit it to the program analysis for his bus pass. When he met again with me in October, he didn't bring it back to me. I didn't have it. So I couldn't submit anything.
All right, thank you so much. Any other questions?
If you don't mind,
Yes.
Officer Ringel, did my client inquire after those dates about a bus pass when he would meet with you?
So he did inquire about a bus pass when he would report, but it wasn't me. Well, 2 times he was seen by the duty officer because he reported without a scheduled appointment. 1 time I was at lunch, and the other time I believe I was in juvenile court at a transfer hearing.
And officer, were you aware that my client was homeless during this time period?
Yes, sir.
No further questions.
All right, anything else?
Nothing from the state, Your Honor.
All right, thank you so much, Officer Rangel, for zooming in. I appreciate your time. And you are
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
excused. Sure,
Thank you.
you're welcome. All right, State, what are you requesting?
If I'm not mistaken, at the last setting, the state had requested the minimum of 2 years, and I'll honor that previous prosecutor's request here.
Well, after hearing the testimony, are you still requesting revocation?
I think they provided good context, so even with that, I mean, we defer to the court, of course, and I think given the confusion, it might lend itself to an opportunity wherein that 2 years is not appropriate, Judge. So we'll go ahead. I'm conflicted because I want to honor the previous prosecutor. As counsel told me, that was the discussion they had, but I think given the new context.
All right, in probation?
Judge, it is quite concerning that Mr. Bolden reports when he wants to report. Bus pass, no bus pass, I understand that issue. I just wanted to make the court aware that that's just not how reporting works. Or make Mr. Bolden aware that's not how reporting works, as the court is well aware.
Yes.
And Your Honor, from the defense, we understand these are issues that need to be corrected. My client does have a long track record prior to picking up these cases. I think of 15 years of reporting without issue. Homelessness seems to be the direct event that's caused his reporting to be an issue. He reports to me that he's trying to get some life together, insurance, and stop being homeless. We'd asked the court for an opportunity, giving him credit for the 15 years he did report without issues, and an opportunity moving forward to correct his issues with homelessness and reporting.
All right, Mr. Bolden, here's the court's issue or the problem. The nature of your offense, you have to report, period. And picking up the phone, calling your officer, letting them know what the issue is, that should be easy to do. And if there is an issue with you're being homeless, they offer bus passes. And I think those bus passes are monthly. It's not just for one day. I've had clients who've been given bus passes before. And so it's easy to do. You know the process to get that. And then you show up to the office and you to bring your paperwork for the bus pass according to the testimony. This is just where we are. And with the nature of your offense, you're supposed to report. You didn't. There's actually a case for non-reporting where there's now a new case for failure to report. So that's where we are. I just don't think you're a good candidate for probation. So I'm going to grant the motion, revoke. I'll sentence you to 2 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served. And you know you have to register. If you don't register, you're going to be back here again. And at some point in time, guess what? It's going to end up being a habitual. And you don't want that. Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it? All right, you do have a limited right to appeal, and that right to appeal is as it relates to the allegation in the motion, not the fact that you're on community supervision. We can go off the record. When you're released from prison, if you have problem, find a place to stay. If you have problem with treatment, if you have problem with reporting, if I'm here, you can always come back here, and I would direct you to programs that will help you with bus passes and help you find a place to live. All right, good luck to you.